Imagine a world where diseases are caught before the symptoms even show, where language barriers can vanish in seconds, and where tedious tasks are handled while you can focus on what really matters. That is the power of AI. Speed, precision, and innovation working together to make life smarter, safer, and more connected than ever before. That was a synopsis given to me by AI. And based on this said synopsis, you could assume that AI is very clearly a massive step in technological evolution, and there is absolutely nothing negative or bad about it, and happy ever after, and the end. No. I wish this was the case, but you see, unfortunately, AI had to go ahead and get itself involved with art. What is, in my opinion, one of the most human things that we have as a race, as a planet. Whether through music, film, or even social media, art is what can give someone's work actual concrete meaning at the end of the day. I very simply consider art as this: a human thought idea which has been either visually or sonically executed, again, by a human. If a computer does all of the work, then the message is now lost, and what we are seeing is no longer art, but very simply something that has been typed out into a keyboard, or in some cases not even that. I guess my point is that AI and art are two very different things which in no timeline should have ever crossed paths. Then you have fashion, which is self-expression through what you wear. It is the art of apparel. Bring artificial intelligence into that world and, well, you have this video. So sit back, relax, and hear me out. Coco Chanel once described fashion as the armor to survive the reality of everyday life. Vivienne Westwood once said, "You have a more interesting life if you wear impressive clothes." And Alexander McQueen stated that fashion should be a form of escapism, not a form of imprisonment. What do all of these quotes have in common? Expression. Fashion is literally, by definition, self-expression, and self-expression is in itself art. Let me explain. What you wear, whether consciously or unconsciously, can send signals about your personality, mood, values, and overall identity. Let's take Hank Hill as an example. Sorry, super random reference. I've been watching King of the Hill lately. It's just what we're gonna run with. He is a character who is specifically rooted in very conservative, all-American ideologies, which is why he consistently sports a very basic pair of American denim jeans with a simple white tee, simple black frames, and a belt which is barely even noticeable. His outfit essentially reflects the quintessential white American man, and to be honest, was probably more unconsciously done than consciously done. Now compare this to I don't know, we'll make someone up, we'll call her Becky. Imagine Becky is a couple decades younger than Hank is very anti-conservatism, and overall would rather preach anarchy within our society rather than conformity and the status quo. Now, how does Becky express this to everybody she comes across? How does she tell everybody she is different without saying or telling anything at all? Through her clothes. Becky's favorite color is black. Her jeans are super baggy and she has piercings all over her face. Honestly, the list can go on and on. While Becky's take on fashion is probably far more conscious than Hank's is, they still both reflect their literal human natures at the end of the day. Right, their clothes do, their outfits do. Both outfits could literally be interpreted into a canvas painting about their lives. Oscar Wilde very famously said, "Art is the most intense mode of individualism that the world has known." Fashion is self-expression. Fashion is individualism. So therefore, fashion is art. Mic drop. Cool, that was a quick overview on how the fundamental idea of fashion is art. But I do want to quickly touch on the industry as a whole before I finish here. High fashion or haute couture, I always up. Haute couture is the highest level of custom luxury fashion. It began in mid-19th century Paris, where Charles Frederick Worth revolutionized dressmaking by treating it as an art. And since this fruition, names like Givenchy, Jean-Paul Gaultier and Alexander McQueen have pushed it into new artistic and theoretical territory, with moments like Alexander McQueen's Spring-Summer 99 show, where robotic arms spray painted Shalom Harlow in a white dress, like when Karl Lagerfeld turned the Grand Palais into a fully stocked Chanel supermarket in 2014, and when Hussein Chalayan presented to us remote control dresses which transformed live on the runway, foreshadowing tech meeting fashion. You know, it's crazy, like this is barely even scratching the surface in terms of how far high fashion has pushed the envelope and how far they've taken it in terms of, you know, presenting art to us. For decades we have been presented with shows that have had the power to evoke real emotion and paint a picture for us, the viewer, to completely get lost in. And of course, how could I forget the center of it all, the world-renowned publication, everyone's most beloved fashion magazine, Vogue.
The fuck is that? Shit!
No, this can't be right. This can't be right. It is. Like I briefly mentioned earlier, AI has very expectedly been putting its robo foot through the fashion industry door. And we'll start with the elephant in the room, AI in Vogue. In Vogue's August 2025 print issue, a 2-page advertisement for Guess featured a model who turned out to be fully AI generated. Many users saw this as a breach of authenticity and artistry, and it even led to many actually cancelling their Vogue subscriptions. You see, modeling has always been a super integral part of fashion culture, and Vogue is often literally called the fashion Bible, which is essentially what makes this situation so heartbreaking. As of 2025, 22% of modeling jobs in digital campaigns are now facilitated or enhanced by AI, meaning over 1/5 of such roles involve AI generated models rather than or in support of human models. They took our jobs.
They took your job! They took your job! They took your job!
On top of the models, AI has also been slowly taking away from the design element of fashion for years now, to the point where the global AI in fashion market is projected to reach between 4.4 billion by 2027 and up to 10 billion by 2030. Don't get me wrong, using AI as a tool to refine and produce your designs is completely fine in my eyes.
I love AI and I'm an artist. That's gonna piss a lot of people off. Hear me out. This is my design. This is my little character. Here is the original concept. I've sent spec sheets to manufacturers. Something like this isn't the best to show them how you want something to fit. Stumbled across this app called Look AI. So this is the image that it generated. This took me probably about 5 hours to get this. I chose every single thing about this, from this distressing to the shape to the cut here, the sleeves. I did everything.
But relying on it for creative inspiration is where I think we maybe morally cross a line. TikTok streetwear brands are already super shitty and uninspired. Add artificial intelligence into that picture and I don't even know what we are talking about anymore. I don't even know what you could call it. It's not fashion. There are numerous tutorials showing people how to use AI in order to literally make designs for you, and I'm sure at this point, like, probably almost half of these cheap, scam likely streetwear brands that we see in 2025 are indeed probably generated by AI. High fashion isn't safe either, with AI Fashion Week being an actual thing backed by Spring Studios and the Revolve Group since 2023. During their season 1 collection, they received over 350 submissions, meaning back in 2023 there were already hundreds of AI designers, and that was 2 years ago. So I can't imagine, I imagine it's at least tripled by this point. You know, you have to ask yourself, what does this mean for the future of design schools, for the number of jobs which are going to be or already have been cut? You know, what does this mean for fashion culture as a whole? Honestly, I don't know. Overall, I feel my main point stands, and that is that fashion is art and AI is not. While there are intricacies to this debate, we can't just act as if this is inherently something which is just fine or which is not important. I have friends who do garment making and who have a real passion for this thing and who are trying to make their own businesses, who every single day practice designing and cutting and sewing. If in the future it's just going to be artificial intelligence and robots doing all of this step by step, then where is the love? Where is the passion? Where is the art? Fuck nowhere. Anyways, I think that is all I had to say. What are your opinions? Let me know in the comments. As always, feel free to subscribe if you are new and leave a like if you did enjoy the video. Until next time, my peoples, love, love, love.